Right, well, the Council for Scientific and Industrial Research, the CSIR, is celebrating 75 years of existence today. To reflect on the significance of the milestone and plans for the future, we welcome Thulani Dlamini, who is the CSIR CEO. A very good afternoon to you, sir, and thank you so very much for joining us here on SABC News.
Very good afternoon, Flo. Thank you for having us.
Very welcome. The anniversary comes at a time when, the world is facing the biggest pandemic really that we faced in our lifetime anyway. How did this affect your organization, sir?
Unfortunately, the COVID-19 pandemic had an impact on everyone, including ourselves. From around the time that we started with lockdown in March, most of our colleagues have had to work from home. In fact, at this point in time, only about 50% of our staff has been able to return to work. The rest have to work from home, and a very small number are on special leave because the type of work that they do is such that they cannot work from home. So that has had an impact in terms of our productivity. Yeah. It has also had an impact in terms of our revenue streams. We are an entity of the Department of Science and Innovation, and we receive about 30% of our income as a grant from the state. And we've seen a reduction in the parliamentary grant that we receive, in the grant that we receive from the state as a result of the reprioritization that had to happen in the South African budget to make room for the various interventions that the government had to put in place to address this pandemic. Yeah. We're also seeing a decline in terms of our income from the other clients that we work for in the public as well as the private sector. So we are seeing the impact of COVID-19 in our business, but we're doing everything that we can to absorb this, to deal with this impact. In terms of we've put on hold a number of the appointments that we've planned. We are looking at a number of other interventions to try and reduce costs, but also to try and preserve cash at this particular point in time.
Yeah. And I mean, going forward, what will it look like for you? I mean, you're raising something very important, the fact that, you've had to kind of have reductions in your funding. And what people may not understand is that, the kind of research that you do as an organization does need a lot of money. I mean, I was talking to your colleague, Professor Linda Godfrey, just last week, and she's, of course, looking into plastic waste. And one of the things that we spoke about was possibly CSIR going into communities, going into schools, having children learners understanding why it is important to, take care of the earth and not to, to try and minimize plastic waste. I mean, these are all costs for you. I mean, when you look into, it's unfair to ask, but, when you look into the future, and of course, things might not necessarily go back to as they were, as of course, all businesses really are struggling at this point. What do you think the future has for CSIR as, of course, you celebrate this 75-year milestone?
But I think we need to remain positive. And we firmly believe that the challenges we're facing today are transient and that we'll overcome, I think, the challenges that we are facing. We recently implemented a new strategy of the organization at the beginning of 2019, our financial year 2019. And the strategy really is about ensuring that as a CSIR, we place a strong emphasis in our role with regards to industrial development. It's a very ambitious strategy, and I have no doubt that we'll be able to make a significant impact through the implementation of this strategy, working with our partners in the private as well as the public sector. The strategy itself rests on 9 pillars, which we refer to as clusters, and they're confluence of priority sectors and the transformative technologies, particularly those that are focusing on the fourth industrial revolution. So the 9 clusters that inform our strategy are very much aligned with the priorities of the South African economy and the priorities of government. They focus on areas such as manufacturing, mining, chemicals, health, advanced agriculture and food, defense and security, next generation enterprises and institutions, which is the whole area of the digitization of both the public and the private sector, smart mobility, as well as what we refer to as smart places, which covers the whole area of environmental sustainability, the built environment, as well as issues of renewable energy. We think that the work that we are doing, continue to do in these clusters will bring about a significant impact and transformation in the sectors that we've identified as high priority for ourselves.
And let's talk, Dr. Dlamini, about some of the research, the latest research developments that your organization is doing at the moment. And really, on the back of that, as you celebrate the 75 years of CSIR, can you also talk to us about some of the most notable achievements of the past that the council has had that really come to mind when you talk about CSIR?
So there are many things to be proud of. In fact, we feel very privileged to be part of this historic moment in the life of the CSIR. And among the things that one can really celebrate is the contribution that we've made as an organization in terms of human capital development. As we feel as a CSIR, we've made a significant impact in terms of development of scientists and engineers and leaders who have gone on to very significant roles in the country. We've also established a very strong base in terms of research, development, and innovation infrastructure in areas such as advanced materials, aeronautics, energy, biorefinery, biotechnology, to name just a few. We've also developed world-leading innovations in a number of areas, including in the transport sector, in defense and security, in advanced materials. For instance, we have developed the largest 3D printer in the world, and we are now in the process of commercializing this printer in sensors, as well as in the development of technologies that support the state, in that way contributing towards the creation of a capable state. An example here is the work that we did with regards to the development of South African smart card. So there are various innovations that the CSR has developed, too many to count, that one can really take a sense of pride of.
Dr. Dlamini, it's been a pleasure speaking to you, and congratulations to you and the CSIR on this achievement in 75 years. And we look forward to more of the work and research that the council will be doing, certainly. Thank you, sir.